Hello, beautiful souls. Suzy Wraines here. And today I wanted to share with you an experience that I'm currently having. This channel is really to share, Kimberly and I are sharing our own personal ways that we're utilizing our divine being, how we're tapping into the divine and watching and seeing how it unfolds in our personal life and our business lives and how it all really works. So, something that I have been practicing in my own life is taking inspired action. And what I've been finding is as I talk to people, so I'm a small business owner. I own Starting a Business Simplified. I'm also a podcast host for Starting a Business Simplified. And one of the things that I found early on when I started my business is that I would take a lot of action. So I was doing a lot of things, but there wasn't a lot coming out of it. It was like I was taking action, but then nothing was happening. When you get into that busyness, so you're just busy, but there's not really anything coming out of it. There's not really a result that's happening because you're just being busy. And what I realized is that as I started to heal from my own trauma patterns in the past, and I started tapping into my divine self and I started asking for inspired direction. So, really asking the divine, asking um, source, sit and meditate every morning. And I ask, what do I need to focus on today? What is it that I need to know today? And every single time I was getting messages that were saying, when you get inspired, take action. Don't just sit with it and go, oh, that sounds good. Actually take the action. So I'm going to give you an example that happened just now, right before I started recording this. This is how it works when we're tapped in and we're listening and we take an action. So I started my Zoom, which is what I record on. I started the Zoom to record. And right before I was going to hit record, this inspiration came to me, and it was a voice and it said, check your microphone. And usually I don't have to check my microphone. Like, you should do that. It's a good habit to get into, but I don't. I just trust that Zoom remembers which is my microphone I'm using and which is, how it all works. But something spoke to me right before I hit record. It said, check your microphone. And I clicked on the button to test it. And sure enough, it was not set correctly. It was on the wrong thing, which means if I would have just hit record and started talking, this would not be recorded. I wouldn't have my voice the way that it is. I would have had to re-record it and start completely over. So that's what I mean when I talk about take the action. We get inspired and then we sit on it and we don't do anything with it. I could have just pushed it aside and got the message, hey, check your microphone, and went, oh, it's fine. I never have to check my microphone and it's always fine. It's fine. And guess what? I would be re-recording this for you right now. I would have had to re-record it because it wasn't set to the correct microphone. That's just a small example of taking inspired action when you get a divine message. So that little intuitive hit, those little promptings that you get, the voice, knowing the difference between that voice and your ego. So when you're in your ego, it's what can I get out of this? It's usually coming from a place of worry or feeling of lack or feeling of, I need to figure this out, thinking. So like your thinking brain, or it's coming from a past memory. It's coming from an experience that you've had before. And now this voice is talking to you based on that experience. So how you can know the difference when you're getting inspired versus thinking is when it's not tied to anything. It's really not tied to anything. It's not tied to being worried. It's not tied to answering a problem that you're having to think through. It's just is. It's like floating. The way that I like to think of it is when I get these divine, they're just kind of floating. They're messages that just kind of float on their own. And they're directions that check your microphone. That was a direction and it was just floating. It didn't say your microphone could have something wrong and you want to go check it. It just said, check your microphone. I don't know why. And most of the time when I get divinely inspired, I don't know the why and I don't know the how and I don't know the outcome. I just know that the message says to do this. So I wanted to bring this to the channel and just share how it is that I'm utilizing this in my life and how I'm seeing this play out in other people's lives. So I recently was on a call with some other entrepreneurs, and one of the biggest challenges that we have, and one of the ladies named it, she said, when you get a prompting, just act on it. And I cannot support that enough. We have so many barriers up and defenses up and worry and what if it doesn't work and doubt and shame and guilt and this happened in the past. Is it going to happen again? All those things come up for us. If we can just sit in the divine and we get a message and we move into action and we don't think about it, do the thing that you feel divinely inspired, just take action. And this is an area that I think a lot of people, we just ignore it. We're hearing it. The divine is talking, our divine self, our higher self. It's giving us messages all the time and we're not following it. We're thinking and we're putting in our own thoughts and our own patterns and our own trauma and our own experience from before and our memories and our worry for the future and all the things instead of just sitting, hearing the message, and then taking the action. I started doing this in my own life and practicing it. And I just named, I did it just now, right before I hit record. Now, would it have been bad if I didn't check my microphone and started recording and then found out after I got done recording that it was completely bad and I had to start all over again? It's not the end of the world. I could re-record. It's no big deal. But this right now, what I'm giving you, what you're watching and how you're seeing this video was inspired. I sat down to do this recording because I got inspired to do the recording. And so in that inspired act, it was important that I check my microphone because if I would have recorded an amazing video and then I went back and I tried to listen to it and the microphone wasn't working, then I'm going to be in a different inspiration to do the second recording. Different message than what you're getting right now because everything is always shifting and changing. And so the universe would have a different message and I wouldn't have gotten this message to say to you right now. So everything that we do has a purpose, has a reason. It's all connected. The universal law of divine oneness, it's all connected to our universal source. We're all connected together. So if you're watching this message is for you. It was meant for you. And I was inspired to do it. And you're listening to it now because you needed to hear whatever it is that's in this message. So go take the action. When you're inspired, take the action. When you're forcing it, that's not inspired. Forcing something to make it happen and thinking and pushing really hard, that's not inspired and it's going to be hard. Ease and flow comes when you can sit, get the message, and take the action. So I hope this inspired somebody today to take that action. And maybe it's something that you were prompted to do yesterday and you didn't do it. Do it today. Ask if it's still the right action to take. We can always ask the divine for confirmation. I ask all the time, should I still be focused in this area? Should I still be taking this action? Did something change? The universe knows all of the bits and pieces that are all connected and how they're going to fall into place. So it's important that we stay aligned with our higher self, with our divine self, and ask, is this still something I should move forward with? Because guess what? You might get a no. That was yesterday and today's a new day and things have changed and shifted. So you need to focus over here instead. And that can happen. So ask, just go and ask and see what it is that you should be doing and then take the action. That's my message for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being on this channel. And if you like hearing what it is that we're sharing here, please click on the subscribe to the channel so that you'll get notified when we have new videos. And I hope you have a beautiful week and we'll see you next time.